Boys, if you are having some issues with these new Archnemesis mods, you're not alone. It's pretty much everybody. I think that these mods are maybe tuned a little bit high, maybe just a little bit. I don't know if you got the same experience as I did, but in the first couple of zones, blue mobs were just one-shotting me kind of out of nowhere. And now that I'm in maps now, some of these rares are more difficult than like mavened bosses and all kinds of stuff. I mean, like just random rares walking around with 4 or 5 mods are like giga tanks that do infinite damage and I can't survive them. So if you're having issues, it's not just you, so don't worry. We're going to talk a little bit about what you can do to kind of mitigate a little bit of this early on, some strategies that you can take while leveling because it might help you out a little bit. Remember, boys, if you're enjoying this content, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so as I said, we're at the end of my day 1. My character is level 75. We are in like tier 6-ish maps. That's about as far as I could get with RF. I'm not super experienced with this, so we didn't get very much further than that. We're going to jump into a random atoll map, and I'll give you kind of an idea of what I'm talking about with these modifiers. Now, if you don't know what's been going on, the new patch that we've gotten gave us a bunch of new modifiers that affect rare and magic mobs. These rare and magic mobs have all new modifiers. You might recognize them from Archnemesis League before, and they are extremely dangerous. Now, later on when you get into maps, they're not as bad, but you really do need to be taking into account your defensives here. Because these mods, as you can see here, we've got like Gargantuan and Stormweaver. Some of these mods are absolutely insane when they get stacked up. Now, in situations where there's only one rare mob or it's like not a crazy mob or anything like that, they're typically not too bad. But some of the times where these get actually ridiculous and some things that you might want to stay away from if you're having issues are things that spawn a bunch of rare mobs and keep them spawning over and over and over again. Things like Ritual seems to be really, really, really dangerous. And what I would say is that if you're leveling right now and you're having issues with some of these mobs, honestly, just skip them. In the very first like 15 levels or so, one of the things that I noticed is that there were a variety of mobs that are very, very common, or a variety of mods that are very, very common. The Stormweaver, Frostweaver, Fireweaver, whatever they are. If you're playing an elemental damage build, it's almost impossible to kill the mods that are like correlated with the one that you have. Here's an essence mob. So you'll get an idea here of what I'm talking about. These essence mobs, when they've got like, cause this guy's got Flame Weaver and Arcane Buffer, I don't do any damage to him. Look, I literally can't hurt him. Like, look at this. It's actually insane how little damage I do this thing, right? Like, I kill mobs pretty fast right now, but this guy, he's got Flame Weaver and he's got 3 essence buffs, so I just don't do damage to him. I'm trying to. It's not like I'm just sitting here like twiddling my thumbs or anything. I'm trying to hurt him, dude, but he's not having it. It's just not taking damage. I mean, like, look, his health bar is moving so slowly. It legitimately, I kill bosses of maps 5 times faster than this. That's not even an exaggeration. Maybe even faster. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean it. But you kind of get the idea here, is that this is how difficult some of these mobs are. Now, do I think this will be tuned down a little bit? Maybe, because it is kind of frustrating. The mobs that are just so common, or the mods that are so common, which are like the elemental damage ones, it just feels kind of like a nerf to elemental damage builds, especially early on in the league, because they just don't take damage. They genuinely don't. I was leveling with cold skills, and every time that I would see a Frostwalker, I was having to skip it, and I think that you should too, because it just doesn't seem worth the time. So my big advice here is don't feel like you have to fight these mobs, because they're just kind of ridiculous. I mean, what did that take? Like a minute straight or something like that? It just feels like the amount of DR that they're getting is ridiculously overtuned. And on top of that, if you try to put some Sentinels on top of them, the Sentinels, particularly the yellow Sentinel that makes like uniques and rare mobs more powerful, is especially dangerous. Now, you can get some decent items, and there are some okay ways to get a hold of like good uniques and such early on, as is classic of pretty much, you know, any league that allows you to drop items and allows you to manipulate items like that. But it's just kind of insane. Now, you can see here the kind of damage I can do when the mob doesn't have Flame Walker. But like the amount of difference of damage that mob took compared to the Flame Walker mob, it feels like it's broken. It feels like maybe they put too much fire resistance or DR or whatever it is, against that kind of damage. So if you're having issues, it genuinely isn't you. It's just that it feels like maybe these mobs are a little bit tuned too high. Because, like, let's look at the boss here, right? So this is the boss. Like, look at how fast the boss is dying in comparison to, you know, like, I can take the boss's big slam. That's how fast the boss died in comparison to just, like, a random essence mob. Now, essence mobs are pretty dangerous, but these modifiers are genuinely just kind of insane. So what I would say is be aware if you see the walker, like the flame walker, storm walker, frost walker mods, and you are a matching element to those, just skip them. Don't feel bad about it. It's going to take you so long to kill these mods while you're leveling, or kill these mobs while you're leveling, that it just genuinely isn't worth it. Be careful. There are some combos that can be super, super dangerous. Like, I ran into this Trickster mod, which it literally was just like running from me and teleporting around and making ice walls. Oh, it's got 4 mods. It's a gamer. What does Trickster mean? Yo, look at this thing. I can't kill it. It's like running from me. Just get back here, you fucker. You got 4 mods. I want to kill you. Yo, what is this? Why has he got flame? What has he got? Ice walls. Dude, this sneaky motherfucker. What is this shit? What is this, dude? Look at this fucking cheeky bastard. What is this mod? He literally just runs away and puts ice walls up constantly. What kind of modifier is that? There's some crazy ones and it's kind of ridiculous, but if you're having issues, feel free and don't feel bad about skipping some of these mobs because they're simply just too dangerous. They're too hard to kill. Stock up on defenses for some of these mobs. And if this is the new way that PoE's going, this is getting pretty dangerous. So I would make sure that your defenses are in check, that your gear is good, and that you're choosing a good build and sticking with it, because expect things to be pretty difficult going forward. And that is going to be it for the video. I just want to make a simple video so that you would know that you're not alone if you're having issues with a lot of these mobs and stuff like that. If you have any other tips or tricks or anything like that, down in the comments, let people know, because it's just kind of insane how crazy some of these mods are. I'm curious to see how good Headhunter and like things like that are going to be this league, because it should be pretty interesting with how powerful some of these mods are. So remember, boys, if you enjoy this content, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos, and stay safe out there in Rayclast. Please try, because these mods are dangerous. And I'll see you guys in the next video.